Ever since its formation, film has been subject to constant change, as has the critical art of editing. This development can be clearly seen from the lack of editing in early films, such as the Lumière brothers' famous Arrival of a Train at Cliotat, which is merely uncut footage of a train arriving at a station, to the complex, fast-paced editing that can be seen in Hollywood films today. Such as Paul Greengrass's action thriller The Bourne Ultimatum. We can trace the advancement in film editing techniques by evaluating a series of landmark events instigated by masters of the editing craft, the most significant of which I will discuss in this video essay. The first of these major developments transpired almost immediately after the historic Lumière brothers premiere. Part of the audience was French illusionist Georges Méliès, who saw the potential of the Lumière's technology and started making films himself. Though his films are regarded in extremely high esteem, I believe that his greatest contribution to film was developing the jump cut, a technique which he began using proficiently in his films, creating magical effects that baffled audiences in films such as The Vanishing Lady. However, arguably the most extensive use of the jump cut in Méliès' filmography is in The Haunted Castle. Here, Méliès crafts astounding visual effects using the jump cut, such as characters appearing in a puff of smoke. This unique discovery gave Méliès' films a magical feel that had never been provided before by any other entertainment medium. As Don Fairservice states, it is easy to see why early filmmakers took such delight in exploiting jump cuts for magic or comic effect, and joining together discontinuous views of an actual event to construct an apparent continuity. No other visual medium could display this phenomenon. The jump cut is still extensively used in films today, such as Wes Anderson's The Royal Tenenbaums. Méliès' work paved the way for more ambitious filmmakers to discover new editing methods. Edwin S. Porter developed the technique of cross-cutting, demonstrated in Life of an American Fireman. This technique involves cutting between a series of different, unrelated clips in order to construct a cohesive narrative. Porter structures this film entirely around cross-cutting, as Ken Dankiger summarizes. Using newsreel footage of a real fire, together with performed interiors, Porter presents the 6-minute story from the view of the victims and their rescuers. This first instance of cross-cutting allowed associations to be drawn from two entirely different shots. Porter's Rescued from an Eagle's Nest also saw the birth of the filmmaking career of David Worth Griffith. Working with Porter's cross-cutting technique, Griffith began to show reaction shots of actors through close-up shots, making his films feel more intimate than those of his predecessors. Furthermore, in films like the monumental 3-hour epic The Birth of a Nation, Griffith demonstrates a variety of innovative cinematic techniques, such as long shots, establishing shots, and instances of the 180-degree rule. But most notable is the parallel editing used in the infamous Ride of the Clan scene, wherein Griffith continually cuts between the terrified women in the village and the Ku Klux Klan mounting a rescue to save them from the freed slaves, culminating in a dramatic final battle between the two sides. This parallel cutting helps to build suspense in this final scene. Obviously, this film is obscenely racist, though as Dankiger maintains, only its racism dates the film. This observation is a testament to the exceptional contributions to both the editing and wider film landscapes that The Birth of a Nation brought, and therefore it should truly be regarded as a landmark event in editing history. Following on from the works of D.W. Griffith, we can trace the arrival of Soviet montage. This is an editing theory that claims that the edited structure of a sequence will dictate what meaning the viewer will take from the footage that they are watching. Inspired by Griffith's work, this theory was proposed by Soviet filmmaker Lev Kuleshov, who discovered that by putting one shot against another shot, we can develop an understanding. In order to prove this, he devised an experiment which is now known as the Kuleshov effect. In the experiment, an actor with an expressionless face is shown before images of a bowl of soup, a woman, and a coffin. Although when separated, these images have little meaning, when compiled together they reveal the unspoken meaning of the sequence, with the actor feeling hunger, lust, and grief respectively. This effect was further described by fellow Soviet filmmaker Vsevolod Podovkin, who states the purposeful influence of editing could guide the audience's emotional response, supporting Kuleshov's significant discovery and outlining the importance of editing in film. In conclusion, through the landmark events that I have stated in this essay, editing has evolved immensely alongside the film medium. Whilst the Lumière brothers' first films featured no editing whatsoever, through developments made by men like Méliès, Porter, Griffith, and Kuleshov, editing is now regarded as one of the most crucial aspects of filmmaking. Acclaimed filmmaker Stanley Kubrick once said, "I love editing. I think I like it more than any other phase of filmmaking," which outlines the important role that it has in modern filmmaking. Film editing techniques continue to progress to this day, and I believe that it will be interesting to see how much editing has evolved in another 100 years, as well as the landmark events that will cause these changes to transpire.